Okay, what is the rest?
So, good evening. We received a bit of, a crack in the clouds today when we heard that higher education funding was passed in the Senate bill. That's for FY17 in the grand bargain, right? It still has to go. There's other grand bargain bills that have to be passed, and then it still has to go to the House and all of that. So, but at least that was the first positive news we've had in months. I want to mention that our Diversity Council, and again, Amanda Holland mentioned her activity in there, and I think all of you know we received the National Award from ACCT for diversity, but our Diversity Council is very active, and now they have a subcommittee that's looking at undocumented students and DACA issues in particular, because those students have expressed some concerns and worries because their names are in the system and all of that. So we may come back with a report in a month or two to the board. They're doing some research, looking at other colleges, best practices, what they do. Seeing how that develops. I want to mention to you all the BSN legislation. Yeah.
At this point in time, if ICE agents show up at the college of Lake County, what is the protocol?
That's what we're exactly going to have a meeting about, and that's what they brought up. So Ken's going to meet with Chief Gunther with them and research that process.
Well, I would hope at the first point, I know we have a protocol in place that any outside law enforcement agency comes to the College of Lake County must ask permission of the College of Lake County to come on campus in an official capacity. And number two, until you have your meeting, I would hope that you would make a phone call to our attorneys and have their advice and follow their advice as far as what we're going to be doing.
Yeah, we'll do that. Good point. Shifting to the BSN legislation, which Rich Anderson is involved with the ICCTA, Senator Menard has asked to gather a list of schools that have accredited programs. So we put our name in. And I think the bill, if I understand it, Rich, the bill is the bill allows you to go forward for the BSN if you are an accredited program.
Correct. It's Senate Bill 888.
Okay. So,
and if you so choose to do that.
yeah, correct. So, and then at your place, I'm not sure where I see it, you have a boardroom configuration. Send you that information. Okay. So Leggett Architects took a look at the boardroom, and we talked to them about the configuration. They're redoing that area, and they're looking at mostly what we came up with was maybe to add some pull-down screens in different areas, and we'll get you a photo on that in the description. Next, we talked from time to time about the UCLC and the building issue. I know I attended a meeting, of course, again, Dr. Carrion and Rich Anderson are on that board as our representatives, but attended the meeting back in December to talk about that issue of the ownership of the building. Since then, I've talked with Gary Grace. Gary's got the documents we were working on before installed, and I think everyone's ready now to kind of put those documents together and then have the boards take a look at what we would like to do, if it can work out, is have our board approve that memorandum once it's developed and the attorneys agree with it, have their board, the UCLC board, approve it, and have a clear statement that that building, if you're the owner of the building, should the UCLC University Center cease to exist. So Gary and I will be meeting to put that together. I also asked Gary to come to the March board just to talk to the board so you could ask him any questions that you have, and we hope we'll have a little more developed by that time.
That's to get something in writing that establishes the permanency of the CLC does own the building.
Well, you know, here's another, I guess this is a benefit if you think about it. So Karen Hunter-Anderson, who was the head of the ICCB, is now head of both the IBHE and the ICCB. So I think also we might talk with her about getting there. I mean, Rich and I have gone and talked to the IBHE before, and we didn't get very far, but I think we may be able to talk to her farther along. Okay, I talked about the NSL Summit, and I did want to mention that in terms of talking to our legislators, Nick Talliers and I did attend the Municipal League breakfast. We've been trying to partner more with the Lake County Municipal League, and they had a really good representation. Just all the senators, I think, and just about almost all the representatives were there. And they were all talking, we're going to get this done, we're going to get all of that forward. And we gave them some documents also on higher education funding. So,
And thanks, Dick, again, for logistics of the DC trip. I meant to mention
Yeah.
that. Thanks for all your hard work on that.
Yes, thank you, Nick.
And finally, we've had here a couple summits now from Lake County leaders, but you've seen those in the paper. They've been on some very important issues like mental health and healthcare around that, and then the whole issue of safe and inclusive county. So we're pleased to be a convener. And then I want to say one thing for Ken Gotch and his staff. They received that GFOA award for reporting. Ken, do you want to tell them quickly what the GFOA award is?
That's an annual award where they review our budget books to make sure that we conform to the national standard for making sure that we're including all of the required information in our budget documents. And I think we've been getting that award for a number of years now as a college. And this last year's budget is continuing to meet that high standard the college has held over time.